Do you physically get choked up when you want to set a boundary? Are you afraid that if you speak up about how you feel, they're not going to be accountable? Maybe they'll twist whatever you said or say no? You might need help setting boundaries. I can relate and you can fix this because I have come a long way with learning how to set boundaries. I would be so afraid to even tell like a nail tech that I didn't like the color. I'm literally paying somebody to do something for me, and I still was so afraid and frozen to speak up. I actually don't even remember what that's like anymore. You start to set boundaries, you might upset people, you might lose people. I did. Am I upset about that? No, I'm not. Not allowed to have boundaries, and what someone else feels is the only thing that matters, then that's not a relationship that you should probably be in. You're important and you deserve to speak about how you feel. So, what are boundaries? Boundaries are the limits and rules we set for ourselves within relationships. That is all we can truly control. So, how do we set boundaries? The first part of setting boundaries is to know what yours even are. So, really, maybe taking inventory of what your values are. Maybe in the past relationships you've had, what are things that you still hold resentment for? Um, Anything that might trigger an emotion in you that is intense and maybe painful is probably a sign that you need to set a boundary there. So if you just start taking a little bit of inventory, you can probably tell pretty quickly what that might be. Places where you feel like anger, resentment, you're overwhelmed, maybe you're afraid to say no to doing something that you don't actually want to do. That is an opportunity for you to step into your authentic self and start setting boundaries. So, one of the ways that is a really good place to start is exposure therapy. So, if you're really afraid of certain people, that might be something to also take inventory. Why? Why are you afraid of them? What kind of reaction are you afraid of getting? And maybe you can link that back to someone in the past that has caused you to just assume that they might act that way. And maybe they've been in a way that might make you feel like they would act that way in response. Someone that maybe you're not as close to, just simple little things like I even said, like the nail tech, or maybe a little bit at work. Start somewhere where maybe it's a little easier for you to get some practice, because the more you do it, the less afraid patterns set in certain past relationships. It might be harder there because they have a certain version of you in their head that they think and expect of you. And so, of course, at first they might be defensive or bothered by you speaking up, but that's normal and they might be able to get past it, and they should if it's something that is said nicely. There will be people that will not be happy and they will probably lash out on you. I definitely dealt with that a lot. But you know what I say to that? Good riddance, because if you're so afraid to tell someone something that's upsetting you, then they probably care more about what you do for them than you. Because if someone actually cares about you and you let them know the right way that either something's bothering you or saying no, then they're probably not your person if they react very negatively and they really only like you for what you do for them. Because anyone that genuinely cares about you is going to be okay with it at first, even if it upsets them a little bit. To be afraid of setting boundaries, because when you set them with a healthy and mature person, they're going to be happy that you did. I have had people never speak up, and then one day they let me know how upset they were. And now I am upset because I'm getting blamed when I had no idea. I've also been on the other end of that where I was afraid to speak up, so it kind of built up over time. And nobody can help respect your boundaries if they don't even know that you have them. When you go into it assuming the worst, you'll probably never say them. When some people might actually respond well. Like, for instance, I wouldn't want someone that I care about in my life doing things they don't actually want to. Because later on, when they let me know, now I feel kind of like what was real. So also realize that it's actually manipulative and it's not really nice to not set a boundary for somebody else because you just want them to like you, so you're almost lying, and that is manipulative in itself. hearing about it that way, that it could actually be very mean, or you're enabling somebody's behavior when you could really be teaching them that they also probably need boundaries, because anyone who doesn't respect yours probably doesn't have their own. It's actually a really good thing, and I've had it be where in my relationships I've actually gotten a lot closer to people because I did let them know. I let them see that other side of me, and I was genuine and authentic, and it actually really brought us closer together. I just want to share 3 different reactions that I got when I started to set boundaries, because I wish that I wanted to put out a video that I wish I had when I was starting to do this, just for that validation and reminder. So I had this friend, I was always there for her when she was upset, and I was going through a lot of health issues and just stuff within the last few years. And I just kind of let her know, look, I can't be as available. Like, it's kind of, her stuff was affecting me. And I mean, I really wasn't doing that well. And I was met with just like being flipped out on. And I got blocked on Instagram. And old me would have been so upset, A, because I hurt someone's feelings, and B, because I didn't want somebody to not like me. I was literally not doing well health-wise. And it's like, if you're always there for somebody when they're not doing well, and then you let them know that you aren't doing well and you need some time, and they make you feel worse, that's not fair. That's, again, not a relationship. If you're able to be there for somebody to help them feel better when they're not doing well, but then you can't go to them the same way, that's not a relationship. That's not fair to you. You don't lose them, they lose you, because they only like what you do for them. They don't want to do anything in return. Another thing I received was that I was trying to control somebody. Stating a boundary is not controlling somebody. You're actually trying to maintain that relationship. Otherwise, you could just ghost them. You could just disappear. When you speak a boundary, you actually want to be able to keep that relationship. So you're saying, hey, look, this doesn't feel good for me. And you leave it up to them to choose. But you're saying, hey, this doesn't work for me. And that was a reaction I got, but I was like, honestly, I'm leaving it up to you. What you choose is then going to be how I respond. Like, people have to be okay. You also have to be okay that if you set that boundary, some people are not going to want to do it. And that I like spoke up for myself. I had someone that was just saying something rude about the way that I looked or what I was wearing. And I kind of let it go for a while. And then I said, like, hey, this really hurt my feelings. And they got really upset. And then were upset with me. If you are sharing that somebody hurt you, you're not mean for letting them know. That's good. You want to, again, maintain a relationship. They said the mean thing. You know what I mean? And again, some people might be defensive at first. That's fine. And some people might come around. But don't feel wrong for just stating your needs, because that should be allowed, right? It's not mean. It's not mean to let someone know how you feel if you're saying it the right way. People that aren't okay with your boundaries probably don't have their own, and they should too. Because people can't accept from you what they don't give to themselves. If you feel mean setting them, just remember it's meaner to not, because you're not being genuine and you are lying just so that someone likes you. We set boundaries to maintain relationships. We don't set them to ruin them. We don't have to set them if we don't want to maintain a relationship. And it actually is really an opportunity to bring two people a lot closer. We can't control a lot, but what we can control is our own boundaries and making sure that we set them. Your health depends on who you're around. You're only responsible for your feelings. You cannot be responsible for everybody else's. So maintain yours. Stay grounded in that. And if someone responds in a different way, that is on them. That is not on you. If you liked this video, I have another video just talking about how to cultivate a better relationship with yourself. You won't tolerate relationships that don't meet you at that place or better. So if you're more into growth and working on what you can control yourself, then watch here.